Hey Delmae family, this is Mr. Cote with some Virtual Academy tips and expectations. I will also send this presentation along with this video. So the first thing I want to remind you is to make sure you establish routines and expectations with your students. Every morning, it's time to get up, make sure your students are fully dressed and ready for the day. Make sure they've had a good breakfast, lay their clothes out the night before. Whatever you want you and your kiddos to do to make sure their morning is as simple as possible so they can have a successful start to the day. The start to the day is how you're going to have the rest of your day. Okay? Please make sure there's a good place to learn for your student. Anywhere in the house, if it's outside the house, as long as your student has access to you in case your teacher that you're working with needs any support. Sometimes they might say, hey, go get your mom, go get your dad, go get grandma, go get whoever. Your teacher needs to have access to any adult in the house to make sure their students are on task and are working toward independence with their learning. Especially for our kindergarten, first and second grade kiddos, we want to make sure there's access to a parent or guardian so we can make sure our students are supported. Make sure you stay in touch. Our teachers email daily their parents. We communicate with our students through GoGuardian, through Google Classroom, through Google Meets. Make sure you stay in touch. And if it's an A-Day, make sure your students are logging in at 7:45 a.m. every morning, ready for their Google Meet, have already eaten breakfast, they're dressed, they're ready, their space is ready. Okay? Help students own their learning. This is very important. Students are either working toward becoming independent learners, or some of our fourth and fifth grade and some of even our third grade students are independent learners. Make sure your students are able to own their learning. Okay? And creating that routine and helping them investigate things by themselves, those things are going to be super important. Begin and end the day by checking in. Every morning, you might ask, what classes or subjects do you have today? Do you have any assignments that are due today? What resources do you need? Do you have everything from your toolkit that your teachers provided? What can I do to help as a parent? Do you need me to ask your teacher anything? Do you understand everything? Okay. Have your students start making their own schedule or the night before so they know what they're going to have to do. That way they get in the habit of making their own schedule as well and referring back to that schedule. In the evenings, you could ask, how far did you get in your learning today? What did you discover? What was difficult? What can we do to make tomorrow easier, tomorrow better? How can you get better every day? These check-in routines can help avoid later challenges and disappointments that your students might have. Having students become their own self-managers will be an essential skill that they have to have. Establish times for quiet and for reflection. If you're a virtual academy student, those e-learning days where students are working independently, that's a good time to get your Dreambox done, Lexia, and other self-directed learning tasks. Noise canceling headphones, having a nice area for yourself to go learn, whatever you need. This one's important. Encourage physical activity, exercise. It's super important that kids are still moving around. I know we have our PE related arts for our virtual academy students, but going outside, making sure we have sunlight, all those things are still important. And keep a journal. Have your students continuing to write anything. Okay? We don't want those muscles in their hands to get weak from only typing and browsing behind their screens. We have the attendance policy for face-to-face. We have if you're present, if you're in person, you're there. If you're absent, you're not. You're going to be counted as absent. If you're tardy, if you leave or arrive late. Your e-learning, student attempts at home e-learning assignments by the next day or in-person day, or if there's an extended project, you got to make sure you work on that. So attempting anything for e-learning day. All right. Absent, you didn't attempt or turn in anything, you'll be counted absent for that e-learning day. Attendance policy for virtual academy, you're president if your student logs on and stays logged in for the entire class period, or your student logs in and stays logged in from 7:45 to 11:55, or half of the class period. You're tardy if you log in late, but not half the period, and you must participate in at least half of the class from 7:45 to 11:50. You'll be absent if your student does not log in at all, or if you log off before 11:50 in the morning, or if you're there for half the class period. All right. In conclusion, we want you to have the best virtual learning experience and meet these following expectations. Your child or children are learning and growing. Your child and children are getting their social and emotional needs met. And your child and children are working toward becoming independent learners. Remember, if your child's teacher needs something, please be available to assist your child however the teacher needs. We don't want you to be, we're not expecting you to be the teacher, but we are expecting you to work in tandem with our teachers to make sure your child is getting the best education possible in whatever setting that they're in based on what our district is doing. Thank you for all that you're doing in conjunction with us to help make sure your children are learning. This little home button takes you back to the table of contents. If you need anything, please let us know. We're here to help. We're here to make sure our community becomes stronger and better. We love you guys. Anything that we can do to help, let us know. Thank you.